issue is oral, and again, it is a failure on the part of politicians and failure part of parliament, of government, with regards to informing the public as to what it is, what their rights are, what obligations are. My concern, and again, after Hurricane Irma, I would have thought that people would have sat down and said, you know something, St. Martin needs us. Let us put our head together. And in the beginning, it was so. I will not say, well, the Dutch did not assist because they did come in with them assistance very early. But when the table turned was later when they started talking about conditions. I can recall very well, it was around September, the same month that Hurricane Irma had passed. We had our first meeting of Parliament in the new administration building. And I intentionally asked to be the first speaker on the floor. And I said this, I said, look, we have gone through one of the most, I would think, horrific hurricanes that ever came from the coast of Africa that hit St. Martin. And I'm saying it is time for us to realize we have to work together. And my question was, yes, I know the Dutch want to help, but what is it they want for that assistance? And of course, we know what the outcome is today in regards to the issue of the control of the borders and so on. And what hurt me, Oral, is that to date, we are still waiting to see what is taking place. And my people are suffering in more ways than we cannot imagine. But my thing is, the politics that is playing right now, I am very disappointed. Because I've said it as an Island Council member, I've said it as a member of Parliament, I said, let us fight to build St. Martin first as a team, and then afterwards, once it is built, let us fight to see who's going to be in control. But let us not be fighting each other right now, and we don't know exactly where we are going, what we are doing. This might sound political, but Oral, when the National Alliance was there, Oral, things were definitely much better. I mean, that's a fact, you know. The government was thrown down. We are where we are today, so I can't go back in the past. But I'm saying right now, if politicians know, members of parliament, government, understand that, let us put our heads together. Let us say what is in the interest of St. Martin, because we can still do it. But right now, Oral, I can tell you, the way we have allowed the Dutch to move in, we are going to have a difficult time by the time we get matters settled as to who's going to run this country. Because right now, they're in charge of the finances, they're in charge of the administration, they're in charge of the justice system.
But what do you think went wrong? Because, you know, you are one of the, I could say, original members of the National Alliance. Your family
That's correct.
Go back a long way. It's a party that the Dutch had a lot of confidence in. What happened after Hurricane Irma that made the Dutch government change and say, well, we don't want the Prime Minister that your party was a part of in government anymore? That shocked a lot of people.
Well, look, even in the days of Uncle Bijleveld, who was then the state secretary, I mean, Mr. Willem Mal was well liked by the Dutch, let us say. I mean, even when he went to the Netherlands and did a speech in the second chamber, I mean, they were talking about him in the corridors, you see. But when Hurricane Irma hit, Willem Mal said, okay, you want to give me you want to give me 550 million, but what are the strings, what is attached to it? And he decided, wait a minute, if this is the conditions, he said, then I don't want it. And from the time they realized that they can't control, because people understand this thing, it has always been about control. In the early 1990s, I worked at the Immigration Department, and a group came down from the Netherlands, and they were in the police station, they were talking about the IT system, all right? They want to make sure, and isn't this Oral? They want to be able to stay in the Netherlands and have insight into what is happening in the Immigration Department and also the civil registry. So when the gentleman started questioning me at the time, I started answering in a strange manner. He said in Dutch, he said, je zit te kletsen. You know what I mean? I said, je zit me stomme vragen te stellen. You understand? So we went upstairs to Mr. Holiday, at the time was Commissioner of Police. And I never forgot, Marjorie Gum sat next to me. And when the man started talking, I said, Marge, look at this. I took a blank sheet of paper. I wrote on it CONTROL. I said, Marge, control. That's 1993. In 1998, I wrote an article, The Recolonization of St. Martin. Oh, well, all I got blows on that one. What George saying, the Dutch don't want St. Martin. St. Martin has nothing to offer. 2016, I was in the Netherlands. Prime Minister Mark Rutte was giving us an excursion in the Council of Ministers building. He said to us, the whole delegation, Curacao, Aruba, St. Martin, we were all there. He said, St. Martin, he didn't say Aruba. He didn't mention Curacao. He said, St. Martin is an ideal location for trade and commerce. He told it us to our face, Oral. What more confidence you want than that as to what the agenda is? But, Oral, I'm not upset with the Dutch, with them, yes, but with ourselves. You know why? Because we, by our behavior, allow them to come more and more, and take more and more control of St. Martin. And the only way we can regain control, Oral, is if all of us as politicians put out and say, wait a minute, this is what we want to do as a team. Once you work together, Oral, you can get things changed. But if you keep fighting each other like what we're doing right now, they're just taking their time, taking control here and there.